watch your mouth. I'm sure you all have seen the replays or the lip reading that all of these sports commentators have done after LSU women's basketball star Angel Reese told someone in the handshake line, watch your mouth, watch how you talking to me. And I started to make this whole video about, the way people talk to us, the underhanded shade that people give. I heard Pastor Jerry Flowers the other day say, never address shade thrown from a tree with no fruit. So ignore people that ain't got nothing going on or ain't doing nothing. And the typical shade that people love to throw, I call it like the condescending or the nice nasty or the underhanded comments. I'll tell you some of the few that I've heard. How's your little podcast going? How's your little YouTube channel? How's your little job? How's your little business? Anytime somebody put a little, heavy on the lil, not little, it's shade. And it's typically, people that don't have any of these things that are choosing to shade you or to make you feel small, dry hate, don't support anyway, just, ain't got nothing going on. But then I felt the need to address how we speak to ourselves. That's the most important conversation you will ever have. I had this conversation maybe about an hour ago with my dad, where I talked about just the heaviness that I wake up with in the morning. There's things that I am in expectation for, I'm praying for, that I want to see change in my life and in my circumstances. And, I have this vision of a better future. But then when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that hits me is what I presently see. And it's heavy because it's oh my gosh, what the vision I have feels so far away from what these little four walls are showing me. And I was telling him, he's like, so what do you do? I was like, well, the first thing I do is I go into gratitude and thankfulness for all the things that I presently have and everything that is going exceptionally well in my life. And all that other stuff that tries to jump in my ear, or you ain't got this, or this is not there yet, or you're so far from this, or how is this going to happen? I start telling myself, shake it off. I literally say, Raven, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. You got this. You got this. You got this. You got this. And it just made me realize how important it is for how we speak to ourselves, right? Because I found that for me, I've been my own biggest critic, right? I've been the one with the internal dialogue that's been negative. Now, if you're one of those people who is super positive, speaks, self-grandeur and grandiose, and has conquered self-love and speaks highly of yourself to yourself all the time, this is where this video is no longer any good for you. You can click off, go watch something else. This message ain't for you. But if you are like me and it's hard, you have to flip it between some of those negative thoughts and some of those kind of self-defeating things that just trickle into your brain, and all of the things that aren't going right. This is for you. Because I feel like some days I'm between girl, you got this. Raven, you got this. You got this. You can do this. And I feel like a failure. The walls are caving in. True story, real talk, keeping it real. And I've had to shake these things off through the diligent hard work, focus, meditation, prayer, extending grace to myself. And I really started to think about, it's really in the essence of that self-talk. What's yours, right? Again, I can't throw stones in this area because it's a place where I'm growing. I'm becoming the version of me that, I love and I'm proud of. So I wanted to, share these questions with you as I am working on answering these questions inside of myself and really becoming that version of myself that I continue to love, grow, and evolve. What do you say about you? How do you describe you? And better yet, what does the word of God say about you? How do you think about yourself? If you had to, oftentimes when you're doing interviews, people are like, what are your greatest attributes? Or how would you describe yourself? Or why do you, want this job? Or why should we hire you? And some people really coddle down and get uncomfortable during that time because they don't see their own greatness. And it's not a time to be, shy and meek. It's the time, pop your collar, flaunt your stuff and tell them, hey, you be a fool not to hire me. I am that girl, right? But that's something to think about. It's like, how do you talk to you, right? Are you your biggest fan? Like, do you big up yourself? Think about that. Do you love your own company? I am an only child, so it was just funny. I was at a birthday party over the Easter weekend, and my cousin and I were talking about like only children. She's like, you get it, you gotta play by yourself. You have to learn to love your own company. But even if you're not an only child, it's like, how do you feel about you? Can you go do things, movies, hang out, dinner, peace and solitude in your bedroom, listen to music, go to a concert, whatever that is? Are you comfortable with you, where you can do things by yourself because you love your own company? And or you think, you know what, I'm cool. I think I'm pretty cool to hang out with. Like, when I want to have a good time, I'm a good time. And are you pleased with you? That was something I am really asking myself too. Like, when you are working hard to accomplish a lot of things, it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get frustrated. It's easy even to get, I feel like derailed and have so many moving pieces that all of it overwhelms you. And you have to try to figure out how to recenter yourself to keep what needs to be the main thing at this moment, when you have so many different competing priorities, and not fall apart, right? And then not beat yourself up at the same time for when things do fall apart and when things don't go as you would have liked. And one of the things I had to ask myself is, are you pleased with you? Are you pleased with the amount of effort that you put in? Right? Are you pleased with how you planned, scheduled, and executed? Or could you have given more? And then, do you know that you gave your all and it still didn't work out? But you know what? That's okay, because you did your best. You did your best and let God handle the rest, right? Are you pleased with you? And also, I am an introvert. So for all of my introverts there, I've always felt some type of way about, like, I feel like I regroup and recharge in solitude. And in certain parts of society, in the workforce, I remember even in school, I was made to feel different or less than because I was not extroverted and loud and in the life of the party. And it's like, no, that's just not the way I recharge and function. So, and I remember feeling some type of way until I learned that about myself. Shout out to the book, while I'm talking about it, Quiet. I just got that book. A friend shared that with me, by Susan Cain. And I think that'll be a really great for people who are introverts. Haven't started it yet, but make sure you check that out if you're an introvert. But I think one of the things I've learned is the importance of self-respect and loving myself, right? In how I speak with myself, how I communicate with myself. And a lot of that conversation is internally. It's in my head. And that affects how I feel about myself. And it affects how you feel about yourself, and it affects how you show up outwardly. So just wanted to leave you with that as you think about not necessarily how other people talk, because people talking crazy, you can't do nothing about it. You telling people to watch their mouth, people gonna say and do whatever. The only person that you are in control of is you, and you already know that. So until next time, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. 3 things: like, subscribe, and share. And if you've never shared it, share it with one person today that you think that this would bless their day. Until next time, sending you an abundance of blessings. Take care.